It's time for my NFL Week 12 picks and predictions. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Hello and welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. It's time for my NFL Week 12 picks and predictions here on Thanksgiving week, Turkey week in the NFL, in our lives. What the hell am I talking about? And while everyone in your family is going to be sitting around the table talking about politics, talking about Trump, talking about Hillary Clinton, I'm going to be sitting down on my couch watching my favorite sport to watch, and that is football, as we have a good number of games here on Thanksgiving. Now, unfortunately, one of the games, the last game on Thanksgiving, has taken a hit as Andrew Luck will be out, but regardless, I'm looking forward to this Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to football this Thanksgiving, and I'm looking forward to good food as well. You know, that's a good combination to have. So let's talk about my picks and predictions. Now, last week, I had an extremely good week straight up. I was 11-3 straight up. And remember, if you watched last week, I was like, 2 weeks ago, I had a horrible week. And I said in my last week's video, hopefully I have a good week, because last week I had a bunch of views on a horrible week. So I had a great week last week against the, in terms of picking games, but then nobody watched. I mean, I still had 3,000 views and I'm very appreciative for that, but it wasn't as much as the 13,000 I had when everyone decided to watch when I did horrible. So hopefully this week we have the good combination of people watching and me getting picks correctly. Now, however, I did do well against straight up, but against the spread, I didn't do that great. I was 6-8 against the spread, not good, but my guarantees were 4-3, so I'll take it. But we need to get against the spread over 500 by the end of the season. Currently in my SFE Sports Fan Entertainment Picks Challenge, I am not in near first place, but in first place right now we have the Golf Chai. Second place we have Chase Lab. In third place we have KMR TV, who has made a couple of videos on this channel. Kid knows what he's talking about. Those three are vying for a prize that they will get from me. Top three end up with a prize. I'm still not sure what the prize is going to be, but don't you worry, you will get something from me. So with that said, let's get into the picks and the predictions. Let's start with the Thanksgiving games. The first game, the Minnesota Vikings travel to Detroit and take on the Detroit Lions. 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, the Detroit Lions went to Minnesota, picked up a huge victory, and ever since that moment, they have not looked back. They have taken the lead in the NFC North, and I think they're going to beat the Vikings yet again here. I picked the Vikings last week. I said, you know what? Yes, the Vikings have been struggling, but I think this is the game that they're going to win. They're at home. They're very good at home, and the Vikings are very good at home, but this game is not at home. And when they were at home against the Lions, they choked the game and they lost. I think this Lions team has this Vikings team's number. I like the MVP level of play we're getting out of Matthew Stafford, and although their offense didn't do much last week, I expect them to bounce back a little bit this week. Man, Marvin Jones, where are you at, bro? I mean, I was so good with this guy. I predicted before the season, Marvin Jones is going to have a breakout season. He's going to have 1,100 or 1,200 yards. That prediction looks so good after week 5, week 6. And then ever since then, I don't know where this guy is at. Wake up, Marvin Jones. Your team needs you. I think he's going to have a pretty good game. Not a great game, but a pretty good game en route to a Lions victory, and ultimately, they winning the division. Because if the Lions win this game, they will only be up by 1 game in the standings, but truly they would be up by 2 games, because a tie between the two teams at the end of the season, the tie would go to the Lions. So this would essentially be a 2-game lead for the Detroit Lions in the NFC North. Lions need this game. Vikings need it more, but I have the Lions winning this one. We move on to the Washington Redskins traveling to Dallas, taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Redskins got a huge and nice victory against the Green Bay Packers, but I'm not buying teams that are beating the Packers right now. I'm just not doing it. Okay, the Tennessee Titans beat the Green Bay Packers 47-25. Next week, they came out, they lost to the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, now the Redskins, they got to defeat the Green Bay Packers, and I think they're going to come back and they're going to lose a divisional matchup similar to what the Titans did. Now, the Redskins are definitely better than the Titans. I'm not saying that the Titans are on the same level as the Redskins, but if you put up points on the Packers and you beat them, it really doesn't mean much right now. They're just succumbing to everybody. And this Cowboys team is great. Okay, they're Great. Great. They're fantastic. And I know Cowboys fans think I hate them. No, I don't hate you and your team. Remember, this is the guy. I was the guy out here that said, hey guys, Dak Prescott's actually a franchise quarterback. Go back before the draft. I was telling people this. But for some reason, Cowboys fans don't believe me. Anyway, you can go back and look. I like the Cowboys to win this game, actually pretty easily as well. Cowboys will win this one easily to me. We move on to the final game on Thanksgiving, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. And as I aforementioned, okay, this game looked to be very promising. In fact, I actually had the Colts winning this game until Andrew Luck was ruled out. I truly believe the Colts would have won this game. Remember, the Steelers, they won last week, but man, it really wasn't that impressive. And the Steelers have not been impressive on the road this season. They've been very bad on the road, to be honest with you. Remember, they got blown out by the Eagles. They disappointed against the Dolphins. They weren't that impressive last week. The Steelers are an awful road team, and I thought Andrew Luck and company were going to take advantage of that. But now you're telling me that Scott Tolzien will be the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm not having the conversation anymore. This is easily going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers game to win, but I still think they might underwhelm you a little bit. So really, don't watch this game, okay? Because if you're expecting the Steelers to just run all over them and, maybe it'll be a blowout, and I enjoy blowout actually from time to time, I don't think we're going to see that. I think the Steelers are going to maybe run their way to 28 points. While the Colts don't score anything, and you really won't be that entertained. But again, it's football, so I'll be watching it. So with that said, let's move on to the Sunday games, and let's start with the Arizona Cardinals at the Atlanta Falcons. And if you haven't noticed already, I've picked every single favorite thus far. In fact, you're going to see that consistently with me or this guy or that guy or anyone that's picking games this week. I mean, a lot of people are going to have very similar games this week, despite the fact that this is our first 16 game week for weeks. Okay, I mean, everyone's going to have the same picks. But look out for this game. I have an upset here. I have the Arizona Cardinals going to Atlanta and picking up a huge victory for their football team. Here's a couple reasons why. Okay, the Cardinals are a bad road team. I'll give you that. But how do you beat the Arizona Cardinals? Okay, they've lost to teams such as last week the Minnesota Vikings. They lost to the Rams. They lost to the Seahawks. They lost to the Bills. All of these teams have pretty much one thing in common. They all have either pretty good or really good defenses, okay? You can strain Carson Palmer, you make him make mistakes, get turnovers, and then you end up winning the game. And then they'll come back late in the game, but then they won't be able to really beat your defense when they need to most. The Falcons don't have a good defense, okay? And you're going to see David Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald and John Brown, if he decides to show up today, and J.J. Nelson. They're going to find consistent success against this Falcons defense. On the other side, how do you beat the Atlanta Falcons? You constrain them. You play good defense. You make Matt Ryan make a couple mistakes. That's why the Seahawks beat them. That's why the Vikings beat them. No, not the Vikings. That's why the Eagles beat them. Yeah, you gotta constrain them a little bit. Now, the Broncos weren't able to get all the way. They just didn't have the firepower offensively to end up beating the Falcons. But this Cardinals team does. I like the Cardinals to go to Atlanta, a team that is not a great home team, to go to Atlanta and pick up a huge victory. Not a lot of people are looking at this game thinking it's an upset possibility. And I admit you, the Cardinals are not good. I picked them to lose last week in Minnesota. But the Cardinals here, I like them a lot. Let's move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Buffalo Bills. And the Jaguars stink. Okay, I say it time and time again, Blake Bortles is a loser. As Donald Trump would say, he's a lightweight. He's a loser. Okay, he's an absolute loser. And you can't expect him to go anywhere and win a football game, especially not Buffalo. Now, I think, again, the Jaguars are going to keep it close. I mean, I've been saying this week after week, the Jaguars will keep it close. They're going to keep it somewhat close. They're never going to lose. I mean, they maybe sometimes lose by 2 touchdowns or more, but usually it's within a touchdown. But you're going to see Blake Bortles throw an interception off someone's foot, and then that'll be the end of the game. So expect that yet again. The Bills win at home. We move on to the Tennessee Titans at the Chicago Bears. My Tennessee Titans here. And this is a game that they will win easily. Okay, absolutely easily. We saw them blow out the Jaguars. We saw them handle the Miami Dolphins. We saw them pretty easily beat the Cleveland Browns. When the Titans are a better team, they usually win. And I know a lot of Titans fans are upset because they lost to the Colts, and I still am a little bit, but I think the Colts are on par with us right now. The Bears are not. The Titans will go to Chicago. They will take care of business. And the reason why they do this, why they take care of games that they should win, Marcus Mariota is a quarterback to where he's not inconsistent. That boy is consistent, okay? You're going to get the same Marcus Mariota week after week after week, and I think the team is forming that similar identity around him. This is not the Jake Locker or Ryan Fitzpatrick or Vince Young Titans where they could go somewhere, sleep, and lose. This is a team that, man, you're getting the same thing from your quarterback every week, and I expect them to take care of business at Chicago. Chicago is a disaster right now. Everyone's getting injured. John Fox is screwed. They're a disaster. We move on to Cincinnati as they go to Baltimore and take on the Baltimore Ravens. And, for me, speaking of disasters, look no further than the Cincinnati Bengals, as AJ Green is now out, maybe for the entire season. Andy Dalton's having a horrible season. He's under duress. Not a lot of people are talking about this. Man, Andy Dalton is under consistent duress this season. He's one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. And this Ravens defense is very good. They're going to get after the Bengals. They're going to suffocate them. It would shock me if the Bengals score more than 17 points. I like the Ravens to win this one pretty easily. We move on to the New York Giants at the Cleveland Browns. And, I think Cleveland is going to win a game. And I've now circled the game, but it's not this one, okay? It's 2 weeks from now as they host the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to win that game, okay? I'm going on the record right now. They're going to win that game. But this game, they're going to lose, okay? Because the Giants they're now a different team under Ben McAdoo to where they handle their business. And last week, they started tripping up against the Bears, but then they came back and they won it. And they're not going to me, underwhelm 2 weeks in a row. 1 week, oh yeah, you can underwhelm 1 week in a row. But 2 weeks ain't happening. Giants take care of business at Cleveland. We move on to the Los Angeles. By the way, Josh McCown is starting, and oh God, you can't expect him to win anything. We move on to the Los Angeles Rams at the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints should take care of business here. In fact, it should be pretty easily as well. Jared Goff. Okay, they are absolutely handcuffing this guy like a slave, letting him throw these little check downs. Ooh, Jared Goff. Good job, Jared. Look at me, I'm Jeff Fisher. I have my backwards hat. I'm so cool. Shut up. Okay, and this moron, he said after the game, after last week's game, oh, we're proud of Jared Goff. He had no delay of games. I've seen kindergartners with stricter parents than what Jared Goff is dealing with coaching-wise right now. I mean, they're holding his hand as he walks the street. I mean, it is ridiculous. Anyway, you can't pick the Rams to go to New Orleans and win. How can you trust this offense to put up enough points? And this Saints defense, they're actually playing better. They got Sheldon Rankins back. They have Jairus Byrd out there actually playing football. They have Von Bell making some plays. This Saints defense is getting better. The problem is now their offense isn't as prolific as it was early on, but they're going to take care of business. Give me the Saints. We move on to the San Francisco 49ers at the Miami Dolphins. And the 49ers, I mean, they look better. I mean, they still ended up losing last week by like 13 points, but they look better, okay? And I think this game might be a little closer than some people think it will be, but you have to pick the Dolphins here, okay? You just have to. Okay, the Dolphins are playing well. They won, 5 straight games now. They're running the football well. This 49ers defense had a good week against the run 2 weeks ago as they slowed down David Johnson. I don't expect them to slow down Jay Ajayi. It doesn't look like anyone can slow down Jay Ajayi, to be quite honest with you. I like the Dolphins to beat the San Francisco 49ers here. But the 49ers, there's some wins coming up. Look out for those. We move on to the San Diego Chargers at the Houston Texans. And look, I'm not a big fan of the Houston Texans. It should be pretty clear. I'm a damn Titans fan, for God's sake. But, guys, the Texans, what they do, their move, they beat teams that they should beat. They get their ass kicked by the New England Patriots and the Minnesota Vikings and the Oakland Raiders. Well, they didn't get their ass kicked, but they lost. But teams that they should beat, the Jaguars, the Titans, the Colts, They beat them. And you're looking at a Chargers team here that I understand you want to pick because they've been competitive throughout their entire season, but they're awful on the road, okay? They're bad on the road. They had one really good game on the road as they went to Atlanta and won, okay? But other than that, they haven't won a game on the road. When you look at this Texans team, they're very good at home. I don't think they've lost a game at home. I like the Texans to beat the Chargers here. You're going to see A.J. Bouye slow down Tyrell Williams, and you're going to see this Chargers offense not be able to do much. Melvin Gordon is going to run into Vince Wilfork's big fat belly and his big fat arms, and you're going to see this Chargers offense just not do much against this Texans defense. I like the Texans to win straight up here. We move on to the Seattle Seahawks at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Bucs are making a season out of this. I had the Bucs making the wild card, and I don't think they're going to make it, but now I'm starting to raise an eyebrow because I think it's possible yet again. Maybe I'll get a preseason bold prediction correct, and I can't buy them to win this game. I just think the Seahawks, I think it's going to be close, actually. I think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people are projecting. They're missing Earl Thomas and Deshaun Shedd now, the Seattle Seahawks secondary. So the Bucs hope to move the football. The problem is with the Bucs is everyone knows what you're going to do. Okay, you're going to throw the ball to Mike Evans. That's it. That's all you're going to do. I know Mike Evans is making up for a third of their passing yards. Okay, it's Mike freaking Evans and no one else. That's the problem with this Bucs offense, but I think they can move the football. Doug Martin is back healthy, run the ball a little bit, just try to slow down the game, try to get out of there alive. Ultimately, though, I like Russ Wilson to win the game, and the Bucs aren't great at home, but I think this game's going to be close, but I like the Seahawks to win. We move on to the Carolina Panthers at the Oakland Raiders. And the Raiders got a big win on Monday night, and, that's their move, okay? They're closer than they should be, but they win the game. Okay, that's their move. They've been doing it the entire season, and I see, some morons, I think it was Jason Whitlock, saying, oh, you can't keep winning like this. What are you, dumb? Have you ever watched the NFL? You know how many teams I've seen like this that people say they keep winning close, they're not that good? Look, the Jaguars are losing close games every week. They stink. That's the difference. If you win close games, you're good. If you lose close games, you stink. The only team that is not in close games is Cleveland. That's it. Everyone else, even the 49ers, they're not very good either, but everyone's in close games. Everybody. The difference is, can you win? That's it. And the Raiders win. And I see them doing the same thing here. It's going to be a little close, but ultimately the Raiders are going to pull it out. I like the Raiders to win and to know how to win more than I like the Panthers to win and know how to win right now. We move on to the New England Patriots at the New York Jets. And, in recent history, these two teams have split every year. Okay, for the past 3 or 4 or 5, 6 years. But, man, I don't see it happening this year, man. I think the Jets stink, okay? I think they suck. And the Patriots, they're taking care of business this year. I mean, I know at halftime last week they were only up by 3, but they won by 13. And they lost to the Seahawks, but they're the Seahawks. When they're going up against these bad teams, they're just winning. That's just their move. They're just winning games this year. It's not even close. I don't see any reason why they don't do it here. Give me the Patriots easily. The Jets stink. We move on to the Sunday Night Football game. The Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. And this Denver Broncos team, I don't love them. Okay, I know a lot of people do right now. I don't love them, but they're at home. They're very good at home. They're 4-1 at home, only one being to Atlanta much earlier this season. Look at this Kansas City team. They have issues. And I'm starting to wonder, man, are they going to make the playoffs? A lot of people aren't having this conversation, but it's a conversation we need to start having. And I think after this game, and if this week goes the way I believe it will, you're going to see the Chiefs be 7-4, the Dolphins be 7-4, the Dolphins being in that spot, and everyone's saying, oh, snap, the Chiefs might miss the playoffs. And if you look at their upcoming games, they're very difficult. They host the Raiders. Raiders are road warriors. They go up against the Broncos again. They go up against the Chargers again at San Diego. This Chiefs team is not a lock for the playoffs. Their offense is not good. It's the worst it's been in years. Honestly, it's so bad. Spencer Ware is good, but that's it. Man, this Chiefs team is not good. I like the Broncos to win at home. The Chiefs are in trouble, man. Look out for the Chiefs. We move on. If they win this one, though, they're fine, because then, to me, they'll end up winning enough games to get to the playoffs. But they lose this one, look out. Last game, Monday Night Football, Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles. And look, the Packers, let's just call it what it is. They stink. Okay, they're bad. They've lost, what, 4 of their last 5 games? Or maybe 5 of the last 6. I don't know. I don't care. They're horrible right now. You can't pick the Packers to win anything. You can't pick them to stop anybody. This Eagles team is so good at home. They're like 4 or 5-0 at home at this point. They bring teams into this succulent place called, what is it called? Adelphia State, whatever the hell they want to call it. Lincoln, whatever, I don't know. But they suck these teams into Philadelphia, and they suffocate you, and you don't put up points, and you lose the game. Okay, that's what they're doing this season. They're like a vortex, like a black hole. You come in here, swoon, sucked into, eat that pussy's fat belly, and you're gonna lose the game. That's their move, and I like the Philadelphia Eagles to win here pretty easily, man. This Packers team just has so many issues, especially defensively, and I don't want to talk about injuries. Okay, I said it in my Packers and Redskins recap. So many people are talking about injuries. Oh, this person's in. Again, we have so many of these players that have been there for years that everyone knew was going to start, but they're just not playing well. Like Clay Matthews, like Julius Peppers, like Mike Daniels, like LaTroy Gaillon, like Micah Hyde. So many, Quentin Rollins now. So many players that everyone knew they were going to start. These are starters, and they're not playing up to their potential. This Packers team is giving up on their coach, on this team, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So now let's move on to my guarantees of the week. And I have, I believe, 7 plays this week. Again, last week I went 4-3, and of those 4 I got correctly. 2 of them were over/under picks, and I'm starting to like this over/under a little bit. So let's test my luck again. First, let's start with the Seattle Seahawks at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right now, the over/under line is at 45. I think this line is going to be under. Look, even if the Seahawks beat the Bucs more than I think they will, it's because the Bucs did not put up points today. And if the Bucs win, it's because the Seahawks did not put up points today. There's no scenario where, to me at least, where this final score is 24-23 or 27-20. I don't see that scenario. Either way, it's going to be like 24-16 or something like that, or maybe just both teams don't even score points at all, which is pretty much what I'm projecting. I like the under here. We move on to the San Diego Chargers at the Houston Texans. It's 46.5. I don't get it. Yes, this Chargers team can put up points, but I see the Texans defense suffocating them a little bit. It's like they're built for this Chargers offense, honestly. When you look at on paper, like their matchups, it's just built for them. They're going to suffocate this Chargers offense, and we know the Texans can't score. So give me the under on this 46.5. So 2 under plays. We move on to just against the spread. We have the Titans minus 4.5. Again, the Titans now can go to places and take care of business. Give me the Tennessee Titans here. We have the Baltimore Ravens minus 4 points. They're hosting the Bengals. Bengals season is tumbling down, down, down. I don't love it though, because these two teams tend to be close, but just give me it anyway, because I think the Bengals right now are a joke. We move on to the Cardinals plus 4. I think they're going to win straight up. But then you're giving me 4 points. If the Falcons win this game, it will be close. It'll be by a field goal, 2 points, 1 point, maybe 4, maybe a touchdown, but I doubt the touchdown. So give me the Cardinals plus 4 points. We look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 6. I think there's a chance they win this one straight up. Plus 6 points. Oh, give me that. And then we have the final one. This one I don't love either because there's a history that goes against it, but give me the Patriots minus 8. Okay, I know the Jets, they haven't lost by much to the Patriots in years, but man, this Jets team is ass. I mean, it is just so ass, so bad, so terrible. And again, this year, the Patriots are just taking care of business. They're going up against teams that they should beat, and they're beating them easily. I'm going to ride this wave, and I'm going to take the New England Patriots minus 8. So there you go. Those are my NFL Week 12 picks and predictions. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this is the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out.